Hello, 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 and welcome to Good Day Runway, the great pop culture debates video photo review of the looks from RuPaul's Drag Race Down Under, the brand spanking new spinoff featuring the queens of Australia and New Zealand. It's coming soon to Presents Plus. I'm your host, Eric Resniak, and I'm joined today by the Melbourne to my Sydney, Curtis Creekmore. Curtis, how do you didgeridoo?
I didgeridoo don't.
Yeah, I don't either. But we are going to get right down to business, folks. We are going to be tooting, booting, pooting, shooting, and mooting the looks of the entrance, I believe, for season one of Drag Race Down Under, because it seems that there was no budget for a promo, which is not at all concerning. So this is what the queens appear to be walking into the workroom in, and we're just going to go for it. Our first gal up is Anita Wiglet. What do you think, Curtis?
You know, it's okay. It's not my favorite thing that I've ever seen, and it looks a little bit too Party City to me. Like the shoulders, the pointiness on the shoulders and the cat o' nine tails. It looks pretty costumey. Her makeup looks great. I like that wig. Overall, I think I'm gonna moot it. I'm gonna give it a moot.
I'm going to do this, and one of the things I think we're going to have to get used to is I think Australian drag has a very different flavor than US drag and even UK drag. And so I think it is costumey, and from what I know, which is not a ton of Australian drag, it tends to go a little bit more camp. It tends to go a little bit more ridiculous, and a little bit more vulgar. And so if Anita's point in this outfit is to introduce to us as she's kind of naughty and she's kind of playful and very much a sex kitten, I'm getting it. And I think
Hmm.
that's successful. So I am going to go ahead and toot that. Next up, we have Art Simone. What do you think?
I think this is beautiful. I think it's camp, but it's high fashion camp, and that's my sweet spot. I really enjoy when a queen knows how to do both. Get you a queen that can do both. I love the hair. I love the streaks of the paint through the hair. It's on point for the name. Super cute. Strong toot for me.
Yeah, this is 100% a toot. I had the literal pleasure of meeting Art Simone at DragCon
Oh.
NYC 2019. Is that before the world ended? Yeah. And Art is stunning in
Hmm.
person. And Art is a big deal. And the fact that she's on this season is kind of major, in so many ways. If you remember the All Stars 4 promo, Manila Luzon kind of did a similar concept with an easel and an art thing. I think Art has done it even better. I think it's
Hmm.
even more successful. It borders on a shoot for me. This is beautiful. And I feel like it makes a statement about who art is. There's an element of camp, but it is 100% fashion.
Hmm.
It's really successful as an entrance look for me.
Yeah.
So next up, we have Coco Jumbo. What do you think?
Coco is beautiful. I love that wig. I love the smile. The look is pretty pedestrian, unfortunately, I think. And if these are the entrance looks, I understand. Like, you're not going to blow your load right out of the gate on the first thing that you're walking into the workroom in. So it's fine. It doesn't look quite as costumey as Anita's did. So I think I'm gonna give it a soft toot because I think she does look beautiful. It does redrag. I might have done a different shoe, a nude pump with that look, especially when you're wearing like a lighter stocking. I don't know if that necessarily works, but I'll go with the toot because I'm feeling nice for these 10 seconds.
It must be lovely to be nice. That's never been a problem for me. I'm going to moot this. I think Coco's gorgeous. Again, if this is trying to tell me something as an entrance look, it says body positivity, which I think is always great. But it's reading a little too prom for me, and I'm not excited by it. So for me, it's a moot.
What hookers
Next,
went to your prom
oh my God, you have no
besides
idea.
you?
True story. A girl's acrylic nails caught fire on the little what are those little fires they put under the chafing dishes? Sternos. Literally, that's a thing that happened at my prom. So
Was she trying to like fish out a meatball with one? Like, how did that
yeah,
happen?
like I don't like girl. Yeah, your pussy's not on fire. Your acrylics are. So it's a moot for me. Next up, it is electroshock.
Oh, there's a lot to look at here. Um, I love a sleeve. I love a big moment on the sleeve. And that's about where this train ends. I hate the chest. I I don't quite understand that. Oh, there are so many really not good things about this picture. It all just looks kind of haphazardly put together. The materials look cheap, honestly. I don't like it, so I'm going to give it a boot.
Yeah, I'm booting it. It is saying that she's a whore, so congratulations. You're making a statement. That's successful. But you seem like a sad whore, and you seem like a like dollar value parking lot whore. And I don't know if that's what you're trying to communicate.
Yeah.
I feel like everything's in the wrong place. Like the
Mm-hmm.
boobs are really high up,
Yeah.
and it's just yeah, it's not good. And I wish I could be more eloquent with that, but look at what I have to work with. There's nothing about this is there's very little to talk about. The sleeves are big. That's all I got to go with.
Yes.
Sleeves, big wizard sleeve. That's what I get from Electroshock. Boot for me.
She's the star of the Tuesday night lineup of the whorehouse.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's the type of stripper that you throw quarters at. Next up, it's etc. etc. What do you think,
I
Curtis?
fucking love the name. That's an excellent drag name and one that I haven't heard before, which is pretty good. The look, is she giving me cockroach? Is this high
Exactly.
fashion cockroach? Okay, I didn't get that until literally just now. So it took me a little long to get there. I do appreciate where she went. I love the face. It's very Joan Rivers for some reason
Mm,
in drag.
yep.
But I enjoy most of the pieces, even though this is again like it's camp, but it's giving me fashion. Like I get some fashion pieces out of there. I love the point on the top of the breast. I love the tails. I finally got that that wasn't actually tails. It's the wings or whatever. I don't love that you can see the panty, and I don't love that I think she wore what is a black shoe with a brown garment. That's a no no in my book. But overall, I'm gonna give it a two.
Yeah, it's a toot for me. And when you see this in motion, there's a kind of gauzy part of the back that she lifts up as wings, and she can kind of do a little dance with it. And I think it works great in motion. I don't think it's as successful in a still photo,
Hmm.
but I still think it's a really fun idea. Cockroaches, share cockroaches, ends of the earth. They will still be with us, and as will dry queens. So I think it's great, and this makes me excited to see more from et cetera, et
Hmm.
cetera. Next up, Jojo Zaho.
Oh, okay. I get the name. And that's what
Yeah,
she looks like. So good for you. Everything looks plastic, which is a choice. I kind of like the dress being plastic, and I like that you can see through it, and like you've got the black bustier slash I don't even know what you would call that. The yellow bow in the back is a no for me. It doesn't like I see that she's mirroring it on the top of your thigh, or yeah, the bottom of her thigh. I don't really. It doesn't go quite as much as I think it should for it to stand out like that. I really love the hair. I think that's super cool. And when you're doing plastic like that, if you do like a plastic wig as well, totally love it. I hate the shoes. I hate those shoes. You cannot do a hooker plastic pump that is peep toe if you're wearing socks, stockings. You cannot do peep toe. No, ma'am. That is abominable. So there are highs and lows. I guess that averages out to a moot.
so hate me, I'm gonna toot this. I believe, and these were just released like 5 hours ago, so I'm going with just what I'm finding, that JoJo is Aboriginal, and I believe that the colors of this garment are a reference to the Aboriginal flag.
Hmm.
And I also believe that the makeup has references to Aboriginal makeup as well. I can't really see the makeup in this photo, and so I'm going to go ahead and say that that may not have been a great choice
Hmm.
from that perspective, because this is supposed to be making impressions. But I believe that a lot of what JoJo's look is based on is Aboriginal pride, which is so important for an Australian New Zealand series. This is something that both countries are still wrestling with in a lot of ways. I'm super excited to see what JoJo does. I actually think this is playful and it's interesting, and I have really, I mean, the shoes, sure, But I love the bow. I love the bows on the stockings. I think it's cute and sexy and a lot of fun. So I'm tooting it. Next up, it is Karen from Finance making her long-awaited Drag Race debut. She's finally a Rue girl. What do you think, Curtis?
That is a name that I have heard for years. She has sparked so many other drag queens, I think, to get into drag just from naming themselves, something like that. So super, super excited to see Karen hitting the stage. This is fine. I think it's a good entry look. Like, this is an entrance. She kind of looks like she walked off the stage of Tootsie. Like, I like the hair. It's very 80s. Everything is very 80s here. It does get into like Mrs. Doubtfire territory just a little bit. Like, this could have been one of the characters that Robin Williams tried out before he got to Mrs. Doubtfire. And so maybe he did go through Karen from Finance. Who knows? I'm going to give it a
Half
two.
of the accounting office did, so.
I'm going to give it a 2 because she does look beautiful. I love the color. I love that she has a silhouette that you can see. Yeah, I'll give it a 2.
So I'm absolutely tweeting this, and I think what you were getting at, Curtis, is that she is going for a very specific aesthetic. And I think, and I don't know this for sure, but my sense is this is inspired by Jane Fonda in 9 to 5. That's what I'm getting from this. And I think that is who her character is that workplace gal from the 1980s. And you kept like getting these references from it that were all, I think, very deliberate. And because of that, I'm saying it's a successful look. She is in one photo telling you where her drag inspiration comes from, and I think that's great. And it's not easy to do. So I think this is really successful for her. I think she looks great. She's not gonna. You will never be glamour, Karen from Finance, but you will be camp. And you will be your own queen, and I'm really excited to see her. I think this is terrific.
This is
Next
glam.
up, it's glam. Sure, we'll go with that. Next up, it's Kidamine. What do you think, Curtis?
Rainbow Bright on acid. It's good. I appreciate all the different parts. I finally someone that gives me a tit. Like, I don't know why, but there are so few queens who are, probably on the thinner side, who do like a large breast. I'm used to that. I grew up with it. Like, all the queens in Louisville when I was coming up in the clubs had tits out, hanging out. Mocha Montrese has real ones. This is fine. This is pretty solid. It gives me a little bit of, what's her name from Canada?
Jimbo?
Jimbo, yes. Gives me some Jimbo vibes. But I think this is actually, I don't know, I'm not going to say that it's more elevated than Jimbo, because Jimbo gave some really fantastic looks. I think this is solid. I'm going to give it a 2.
I love this. I think this is great. You pointed out it's like Rainbow Bright on acid, but it's Rainbow Bright on ketamine. Like, that's the whole joke, right?
I don't do drugs.
I think don't do drugs, kids. No, I love this. I think it's really fun. Again, entrance look, bam, I know who you are. I know what you're putting out there. You excite me. I want to know more about you. I think this is a really polished, very well executed version of something we've seen before, for sure, but I'm already getting a unique takeoff from her, and I'm 100% sold. I really want to see where Ketamine goes from here. Total toot for me. Next up, we have Maxi Shield. Is that enough tit for you, Curtis?
That's a lot of tit.
A lot of tit.
But you know what? It looks great. It's very clearly a titty bib because she's got the necklace to hide the top of it. Thank you for doing that, RuPaul. I don't know if y'all noticed it. A couple of weeks ago, there was an episode where that was the first time I've ever actually noticed Ru wearing a titty bib. Like, you could see she didn't try to cover it at all. At least Maxi did. I love purple. This looks really nice. I love the fabric that she's holding. It looks like she's stepping on it, which is unfortunate. Like, I bet she probably does that when she walks into the room. It's very Joey J. I get a lot of Joey J from this.
I think it's literally the exact same outfit Joey J was wearing in her promo. I really do.
Yeah. Toot.
Yeah, I'm tooting it and I'm not even sad about it.
Mm.
It's like if Paula Dean and Ursula the Sea Witch became one person, and here she is.
They're
And her
not?
tits are out, ladies.
Yes.
Like, I am fully on board for this journey. I don't know where the fuck you're taking me, but I bet there's butter and there's lobster tails. So I'm in. This is, it's a big girl who means business, and I'm very excited to see what Maxi Shield is going to serve us up. I think it's very successful, too. Last up, we have Scarlett Adams. What do you think, Curtis?
This is not anywhere close to where it should be when you're going on RuPaul's Drag Race. And I understand that this is the first season, but you've had 13 plus 5 All-Stars at this point. You've had Canada, you've had Thailand twice, you've had UK now twice. You know what is expected of you. And this is just far too pedestrian. It's, you bought this off a rack. And I can't quite tell what's on the hip there, like some sort of chain and leather. And I guess that goes with the neck choker too, that I think says her name. I'm not here for this. This is a boot. I'm sorry.
I'll moot it because I think it's a successful kind of dominatrix on her way to the bank thing. But you know that magazine Highlights for Children? This is Highlights for Drag Queen. My God, like her face is just reflecting the light, and that's not a compliment. Does she have a nose? I can't even tell. It's this is not ready for primetime drag. That's what I get from this. And I really do hope that Scarlett will show us that she is ready for primetime, but this is not a great first step into the workroom. I am not in any way enchanted, nor am I in any way challenged by you. And so for me, it's a moot. It's a moot. With that said, Curtis, I'm going to go to you. Who was your top 2 of the week?
I was unprepared, but I chose Art Simone. I think that look is just really, really well done. The more you look at it, the more you find things to love. Like, I didn't even notice the neck at first. Like, it's probably some sort of latex or something, but it looks like purple paint. It's just super well done. And she looks like Kathleen Turner. Is that who I'm getting in that face?
Interesting. I can see that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I make it a double. I'm also an art lover. I think it's really good, and I think art is a big deal to be on this show. I think Art could have arguably hosted this show had RuPaul not said yes. So we are very interested to see how this all turns out. So thank you so much for watching. Make sure to check out our other Drag Race videos on this here YouTube channel. Make sure that you like and subscribe because we're putting up new content all the time. You can actually find the first 2 seasons of our podcast now on YouTube. And make sure that you're heading over to our website, greatpopculturedebate.com, where we have our episodes. We have polls, so you can have your say in upcoming episodes of the podcast. We have topics, so you can decide which ones we even cover next. And more importantly, we're doing viewer fan pools for Drag Race Season 13, Drag Race UK Season 2, and Drag Race Down Under, which will probably be starting at some point in April. These are free to join. Anyone can do it. It's a lot of fun, and it costs you nothing. We blog every episode with our own thoughts, and we want to hear your opinions too. So please head over to greatpopculturedebate.com. Thank you for watching. Thank you, Curtis, for joining me. And with that, we'll see you later. Bye.